Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1587. And a happy Tuesday. Happy New Year. Shana Tova. It is the beginning of a new year. Rosh Hashanah. Hence why I'm wearing a button-down shirt today. We have a lunch all the way next door. Rookie's family, the neighbor dog, is hosting. They host a Rosh Hashanah lunch every year, so I don't have to eat peanut butter and jelly or rice and vegetables for lunch today, which I starting to put a few pounds on. I should probably watch that diet a little closer. So we had a small dinner. Just my mother-in-law and her friend came over. So it was just the four of us. Grandma was not feeling well. She's 98. So she did not make it over. So we had basically the Jewish holidays. Every Jewish holiday is Thanksgiving. You just eat. You just don't have the turkey and stuffing. But you eat and eat and eat. It's like a 12-course meal every holiday. So last night we had, so you start off, so little Rosh Hashanah, this is going through the dinner. You start with, I start with a spotted cow and then a second one. And then you have apples and honey, which signifies like good luck or something. It's something good. So honey and apples. And then what do we do after honeys and apples? Then we sat down and had gefilte fish, which looks absolutely disgusting, but I love it. It's very good. Gefilte fish, which is basically like a cold white fish in like this slime and carrots. Gefilte fish, and then there's liver, which I hate cooked liver. I hate liver and onions, but I actually don't mind the like cold chop. What is it like? Spread, liver spread. So I don't mind that. And then challah, which is like a bread. It's a sweet bread. It's very good. So you put the liver on your challah. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing one other. Maybe it was just those two. And then we go to the the soup. What the hell? Help me out here. Matzo ball soup. So some matzo ball soup. And by the time we finish matzo ball soup, it's like kind of full. We haven't even had the main course yet. So the main course is beef. I don't know, beef something, beef steak. I don't know what it is. And potato kugel and simmis, which simmis is very good. Simmis is like sweet potatoes, peaches, and like some other fruit, and it's very tasty. It's very tasty. And I think that's about it. And then then there's dessert. So I eat so much, it's like I can't stomach a beer. You eat so much, and it's gonna be. Today's a little different. It won't be as heavy today for lunch, but so that's Rosh Hashanah. We don't go to the services or anything. So we just eat. We just eat. And then so today, wearing the button down today. And then I think we're gonna do a dinner tonight, like basically eat leftovers tonight. I will go live though, so I am going live. So I'm going to schedule it for 7:30 tonight. I may sneak in an afternoon live stream. the issue here is the lunch is a little later because it's after the service. So I'm not sure what time. Usually lunch isn't until like 1:30, 2 o'clock. So maybe if I schedule like a 3 o'clock, I could do a quickie. My car's still in the shop also. So I may do like a quickie this afternoon just because I don't have I need something to do because I'm done with shipping. Although I do have a lot of cleaning to, I could do that. That's what I need to do. So it's Rosh Hashanah. What else is this week? This week is the Madison Card Show and the Madison Pokemon Show. That's probably going to take precedent over cleaning this afternoon. So yeah, I'm not going to do it live this afternoon. I'll save it for tonight. I need to get my maps finished for both shows this weekend. I think I'm sold out. I think I've got some open tables, but I've got like 3 dealers that have inquired. And I'm like, I think I can get you in, but before I confirm, let me look at my map. So I've got to get this mapped out for Saturday's show. Sunday's sold out, but I've got to look at Saturday's map. Because I wasn't going to add any, I've basically been holding off booking any tables unless it's a sports table for Saturday. Because Pokemon, you got your own show on Sunday. So I want to do any additional dealers on the sports side. So Saturday, Madison Card Show, sports and Pokemon, 9 to 3, Madison Marriott South, used to be the Sheraton Hotel, same hotel, different name, free admission, free parking. Sunday is the Madison Pokemon Show, 9 to 3, free admission, free parking, all TCG, basically all Pokemon on Sunday. So that's how it goes. For dealers that set up at the August Madison Card Show at the Alliant Energy Center, check your inboxes if you haven't. The bookings for October are now live for previous vendors from the August show. I'm going to give that about another week and a half. I'm going to do a follow-up and give it a couple days. I'll probably do a follow-up next, probably Monday, probably next Monday, because I want to give it time. I want to give it a 2-day grace period. Okay, it's Monday, by Wednesday, tables are going to open up. So I just got to get that language in the email. So if you haven't booked the October show yet, please do this week. Because I want to get by October 1st or right shortly after October 1st, I want to get everything squared away so we can open it up for anybody that's not going to rebook for October, because I do have a significant list of people that want to get into the show. And I just you gotta wait. So that's online. Check your email if you were vending at the August show and you haven't rebooked yet. So check your email on information for that, because it is live. It's password protected. That's because it's only open for previous dealers. What else is going on? Let's see. Shipped yesterday. Car's still in the shop. So basically it's here's the issue. I'm going to have to pay out of pocket now, but I'll probably get refunded later. So there's a recall, but it's like an upcoming recall. So it's not in like the dealership systems yet. And I'm sure this is just something on the back end for the dealerships, which I don't care. It's like, I can't drive it, fix it. I'll pay for it, and hopefully I'll get reimbursed. So, because I have the letter and everything. So it's like a brake hose, which is exactly, so they looked at it, they called me, they said, so it's exactly what this recall, unfortunately, it's an upcoming recall. So if we fix it now, we don't have the part. So basically they have to replace a bad part with a bad part. And then once they get the new parts in that won't fail, then I have to send it back in and do it all over again. He said, we've got to charge you for this one because it's not in our system. It's not an official recall yet. He goes, historically, Ford will reimburse you, especially since you got the letter and all that. I'm like, that's fine. I'll pay it. It's got to be fixed. I need my car. So let's get her done. So, and then they called in the, like, we'll have it done in the afternoon. I'm like, oh, great. Even better. So they called and they're like, well, we didn't have one of the parts we needed, but it's going to be delivered tomorrow. So hopefully it'll be done today. I don't need my car until Friday. I mean, it's nice to have a car, but I don't need to go anywhere until Friday. I mean, I can take whenever my wife comes home, just take her car to the post office, which is what I did yesterday. So yeah, cars in the shop. Today I want to talk about doubling your inventory. So I've seen various places about, and I used to talk about this. Like, my goal when I went full time was listings. I got to have listings. And I chased listings, which is not a good way to run a business because listings don't equal sales. And I found that out. I had part of it right because I did have data that I was compiling every day. And I compiled data almost every day for 3.5 years, 4 years. I think December 20th, 2021 was when I started compiling, like, in a spreadsheet, my own spreadsheet, because this is data that eBay doesn't provide. And this is to get my sell-through rate, which a lot of people confuse sell-through rate with conversion rate, which are two completely different things. Like right now, my sell-through rate is like 0.0001%. Well, I guess not really. But my sales conversion rate is like 190% right now, because everything I list sells in auction. But my buy it now drags that number down because I rarely sell anything out of my buy it now because I haven't added anything. So anyway, I made some math mistakes when I was projecting numbers before I quit my job to sell full time. Now, fortunately, we were in a boom, so I was able, and I had a nice nest egg. Fortunately, I was smart enough to know that weird ass COVID boom wasn't gonna last, and I can sell a lot of this stuff. Boom, out the door, everything's selling. And instead of just buying stupid shit. Now, did I buy stupid shit? Yes. I spent $450 on a First Bowman Chrome Chris Bryant autograph, which you can buy now for about $70. $400 for a Gleyber Torres First Bowman Chrome auto at like the peak. But I don't care. I made a large multiplier more than that selling junk that I had in a closet, going through boxes of basketball that I didn't think was worth anything, that Chris Middleton silver rookie sold for $300. It was sitting in a box, unsleeved in a box. I'm like, I don't even know who Chris Middleton is. I pulled Jordans and Kobe's if I had them, but anything else, I had a whole box of first year Prism basketball, silvers included. Holy shit, did I make a lot of money on that? I was saving that money. I bought an e-bike that I now never ride, but for the most part, I just set that aside in an account. And my accountant was like, because I had a full-time job, he's like, you need to spend some money. Because I made a lot of money on selling on eBay. That was fun. Being in a situation where your accountant is telling you to spend money. But I made a lot of mistakes early on. And it was basically in my projections. It's like, well, in February of 2021, which was about 6 months before I went full time, my daily sell-through rate was 2.3%. Okay, I'm gonna touch on this and then I'll get to the chat because I'm gonna go into some boring shit. So my daily sell-through was 2.3%, February 2021. So daily sell-through rate means how much inventory, how many items I'm selling on a daily basis. What's the percent of items I'm selling on a daily basis compared to how many items I have in my entire eBay inventory? And I was running about 3,000. I think I had 2,000 to 3,000 listings. And I was selling like 80 items a day on just 2,000 to 3,000 listings. That's an insane sell-through rate on a daily basis. And then by the time I started tracking these numbers 6 months later, we had started to see the decline in that craziness that we saw. Because remember, in February 2021, we were still stuck at home. Now, stuff was open. I was working from home. That's how I scaled up to start my business. Working from home, and I'm just going to spend this half hour on cards. I'll get to these emails. So we were still, there was a lot of stuff still shut down in February 2021. So, even leading up to that, the end of 2020, beginning of 2021. So I'm going to go to the chat. We'll talk more about doubling your inventory. It's not going to double your sales, which I think still is a common misconception among many sellers. They think that if I double my inventory, I'll double my sales, and it just doesn't work like that. Unicorn Cupcake, good morning. He's in the Crane, red light from the Crane. L1C, what's going on? I saw L1C at the Janesville Card Show on Sunday, and I don't think I knew that you were L1C in the chat until Sunday. You told me. Christian says, back from a work trip and then a big home move. Glad to get my place back on the hobby couch. Go Lions. Yeah, that was a good game. I watched a little bit of the game last night. I was disappointed. I don't think Isaac Tesla had any receptions yesterday. Man, he's been so awesome the first 2 weeks and then nothing. And like he was so awesome in the first 2 weeks. He only had one or two catches in the one catch per game, maybe two catches in one of the games. I bought an Isaac Tesla rookie because there's and I'm like, I didn't want to list it on Sunday night because it's like, well, they haven't played. They don't play till Monday. I'll hold it off. And then maybe he has a big game, scores a touchdown. People want Isaac Tesla cards and didn't have a catch. It's like, shit. I don't know what the sticker was on it. $40. Well, it is serial numbered out of $299. Donruss Elite. So I didn't pay sticker. I think he only charged me $20. So, but I don't think if I listed it, he had some amazing highlight reel catches the first 2 weeks of the season, but I still don't think I've had people ask but it was the day of the game, the night of the game. Sunday night, it might have went for crazy money, but it might have been I had an Aiden Hutchinson that only sold for $5. When I saw that, it's if this Aiden Hutchinson sells for $75, which it shouldn't, it was probably a $5 card. But when other stuff was selling for crazy amounts and Aiden Hutchinson only sells for $5, it's okay, we're not going to list this Isaac Tesla tonight. Unicorn says fish in slime and carrots. You sold me. Yeah. I'm trying to undersell it so I can keep all the gefilte fish to myself. Red Light says sounds nasty as fuck. It does sound nasty as it does. It does sound nasty as fuck. It even looks nasty as fuck, but it tastes good. That's all and it doesn't smell bad. It smells like, I don't even think it smells like fish. It doesn't really have a smell. If it smelled nasty as fuck, then I wouldn't eat it, but it does not smell nasty as fuck. It sounds nasty as fuck. It looks nasty as fuck, but it doesn't smell nasty as fuck. And it tastes pretty good. Unicorn says, hopefully they didn't make him cut off part of his wiener. I heard they have a party for that type of shit sometimes. Gem City says, that's why I quadrupled my inventory. Big brain move. I'm going to go into my numbers. I'm going to share my numbers. I've seen some of these and it's I have data to back this up. This is what happens. Now there's also, this data is over a period of, ebbs and flows, but I think it still gives you a pretty decent idea of the inventory. But there's also some other things that go into it that I want to touch on. Unicorn says 2 steps ahead. Gem City says, it's how I got this far in life. Big brain, big head, big hats. Red Light says he'll ride your bike. Deep Hires in the house. Good morning. Finally catching a live episode again. I'm all over the place. Sometimes I'm on at 7:30, sometimes at 9:30. Today, 8:30. Max says the doubling thing is just plain business knowledge. Law of diminishing returns. Amen. However, if it's not increasing your sales, that's where you need to get serious. Correct. Absolutely. Now, I will say, I did not expect to sustain. I certainly did not expect to sustain 2.3%, which was what I saw in February. That's common sense. Like, this ain't going to last. Sell everything. Don't buy anything right now. Sell, sell, sell. That was my strategy throughout the COVID of 2020 and really throughout 2021. When I sat down in the summer, when I went to the National in July of 2021, and if you would have asked me on Wednesday of the National, do you want to start? This is July, the very end of July of 2021. And if you would have asked me, do you want to sell cards full time? And I would have been, hell no. Hell no. I mean, if I was guaranteed, if you could guarantee in crystal ball, like, well, you will make X amount, you will do better than this, blah, 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 blah. I'd be like, oh, okay, sure. But going in with like a blank slate without that knowledge, because I'm not a risk taker, and quitting your job to sell baseball cards is a pretty big risk. And going into, let's just call it August 1st, I would have been like, hell no. And guess what? By October 1st, 2 months later, I was already set up to sell cards full time. And I had I gave my 2 week notice on October 1st, expecting my business officially began October 1st, 2021. Everything was all set up legally. And I walked in and I want to talk to you guys. And I'm like, so I'm going to quit and I'm going to sell baseball cards out of my basement full time. I don't think I said exactly that, but I think I handed a resignation letter. I had to cover up the extremely happy grin that I'm quitting this job that I've hated for 7-8 years to fucking sell baseball cards. Oh, it's the greatest feeling in the world. And fully expecting, like, in that industry, in the transportation industry, it's basically like there's no such thing as 2 week notice. Like, you hand your resignation letter in, giving a 2 week notice, and they're like, we don't need your 2 week notice. Pack up your stuff, you're gone. That's basically how it works. So that's what I expected. And they took me up on the 2 weeks, and I'm like, all right, I guess I get another free paycheck. I'd been there, so it was like a full day vacation, which I got paid out on, and I had like 3 or 4 weeks. So I basically, that last 2 weeks, and then when my payoff at the end, like, I had an additional 3 months salary, probably about a 3 month salary paid off at the end, to add to my kitty of card sales. So, I never, it never even crossed my mind. And I've had people like, wouldn't it be cool to open a card shop? And I'm like, no, that sounds like hell. No, I don't want to open a card shop. Owning a card shop to me sounds like owning a boat. I don't want to own a fucking boat. All that upkeep, the overhead. I just want to have a friend that has a boat. I want to have a friend that has a card shop. I want to go hang out with Brad at Bonsai. I don't want to own a bonsai. I want to have a friend that owns the bonsai. I haven't found a friend that owns a boat yet. And, honestly, I never leave the house, so I wouldn't go join them on the boat anyway. So I want to share with you my numbers and what I learned, the harsh reality. And I think I've probably shared this in the past, but I think it's been long enough. And it's also, it's a good time for me to reflect a little bit, because it's been 2 months? I think it's been a solid 2 months, a little over 2 months, since I basically stopped volume selling on a buy it now site. Am I still volume selling? I'm selling more cards now than I was when I was a quote volume seller. You know, I have more packages going out. I had 2 plastic storage bins that I took to the post office, which never happened when I was selling buy it now full time. So I am selling more cards. I am selling more. I have more orders. I have more cards sold, but it's doesn't take as much time. Makes a lot more money, and is frankly easier. But it gives me over the last 2 months, it kind of gives me the direct hit is over in terms of the direct hit to my psyche, where I've had time to reflect. I can look back at the numbers with a kind of a clear head, because it took me a while to make that decision. I'm going to take all my buy it now listings, because it was almost like those 60,000, and I think it was down to like 55,000. We'll call it 60,000. Those 60,000 listings, over 100,000 cards in my inventory, that was my security blanket. Well, what if? And sometimes you just got to rip that security blanket and throw it in the trash. And that's what I did in July. It's like, you know what? I'm going to put my store in vacation mode anyway. We're going to Maine. I'm just going to delete everything. Fuck it. That way I don't have to come home to 200, 300 orders and delay because I was delaying so many live shows where I make a lot more money than selling $1.50 cards, buy it now, free shipping, pulling 10 card, 20 card order out of 10 boxes, 20 boxes, slowing me down. So now I've got 2 months behind me, and I can honestly, clearly say, God damn, it was the best decision I ever made. Well, I shouldn't say that, but that's a little dramatic. But it was one of the best decisions I have made. And now I can look at the numbers when I was selling buy it now, and look at the data that I scraped every day for 3.5 years. Looking at the numbers, and I can share those with you because it's really eye-opening to those that just think, well, if I have 10,000, if I'm making this, if I'm selling 50 items a day with 20,000 items, ooh, I could, if I can scale up to 40,000 items in my eBay store, I'll sell 100 items a day. And it just doesn't work. Like Max mentioned earlier in the chat, it's diminishing returns. The more items you add to your store doesn't equate to more sales. That's just not how numbers work. It is the law of diminishing returns. Now, if you put a bunch of Patrick Mahomes, if you add 10,000 Patrick Mahomes rookies at half of comps, yeah, you'll probably do pretty well on those sell-through rates. But if you're going to continue listing what you've listed and you just want to double it, no, you're going to see diminishing returns. Max says, if it's not getting you 80% compared to the first half, you got an issue. Mark, good morning. Gem City says, good shit at the right time is the key to sales. Amen. But inventory to list at those times seems to me to be the most important thing. Prep and patience, then attack. I am a believer in both. I'm a believer in both having the right items at the right time, but also selling shit immediately. Take, for example, this Isaac Tesla. I picked up an Isaac Tesla rookie that I talked about at the beginning of the show. I still think I'm better off waiting on this Isaac Tesla rookie. The problem, if I wait too long, something could happen. Obviously, injuries can happen in any of the sports. But also, you got to look at production. And right now, this is his only rookie card. He's in Donruss Elite. I don't think he has a scorecard. But we're going to have base Donruss coming out soon, within the next couple of weeks, I think. I think I saw somewhere retail drops October 13th. So I'm assuming hobby comes out a week or two prior. So probably in the next week to 2 weeks, we'll see Donruss, and maybe there's I don't know if Isaac TeSlaa will be on that checklist, but obviously the more products that come out, there's also going to be a shift. Right now, Score and Donruss Elite, the only new football products for 2025. The more products come out, it's like, oh, that's Donruss Elite. I'm moving on to the next one, regardless of player. So I don't want to hold too long, but sometimes it pays off to hold. It goes both ways. Sometimes you can hold and win. Sometimes you can hold and lose. Sometimes you hold and it's just, But then you also have to take that time into consideration. Could I have sold that for $40 on Sunday night? Do I wait? And maybe I wait till this Sunday. I sell it, sells for $40. Could that $40 have worked for me in the meantime? It's $40. No. Provides something that maybe somebody requests, where nobody requested Isaac TeSlaa on Sunday. But maybe somebody requests it on this Sunday, this coming Sunday. And I've got it for you, instead of saying, oh, no, I don't have any of that for you. And that person may be disappointed because I don't have what they want. Jody's in the house. Good morning. Max says consistency is the key to sales. That's why last week and this week are frustrating. Missing out on 2 of my normal shows because they doubled up with others. That's a bummer. What's this? What's doubled up this weekend? This coming weekend? Red light. Fuck a boat. That's just a money pit. Yeah, I agree. Max says you already do. You just don't have all the unnecessary fringe expenses. That's true. Like, I have a card shop. It's just you can't come over and buy stuff out of my shop. It's an online card shop. Gem City says, Max, that stinks, man. What kind of deal do I need to make to get you down to Quincy, Illinois to set up, besides not being in Quincy? Man, yeah, I'm like, shit, your Madison is like 4.5 hours. So yeah, that's another 6. That's 6.5 hours for Max. So guarantee I come home over 4K, pay for hotel for 2 nights and gas meals. There you go. New goal, grow a show big enough for Max to attend. Mark says, talk about waiting. I've spent the last 4 hours filling out PSA submissions. Ugh. Max says, Green Bay, Rapids, Madison, all on Sunday. Oh, shit. Wow. So I want to share some of my numbers when talking about doubling inventory. Actually, somebody in the chat, and I will not there. I had a question come my way yesterday that is interesting, and I think also deserves a topic because I have my thoughts on that, what that question was about yesterday. So my topic today was doubling your inventory will not double your sales. And I want to share these numbers with you. I don't have my data prior to December 20th, 2021 was when I started scraping my data and extrapolating it out in a spreadsheet. And here's how I did it. It was my 90-day rolling average. So on December 20th, I took the previous 90 days and averaged it out. So I had, this is not a perfect science, but I felt that 90 days was a good amount of time, because I think if you're doing a 7-day rolling average, there's too many peaks. I figure if you can do it on a quarterly basis, that will take the good with the bad. 1 week can be very skewed one way or another. So I feel a 90 days is, I mean, shit, you could have even done 30 days and had a pretty accurate assessment. But I did 90 day, and I think I started that because that's what the eBay app was showing. And so I could pull some of this and then just have the spreadsheet do some of the math. So I took a 90-day rolling average. I did my 90-day sales, which, by the way, as I look at my numbers back in December, I have now, since December of 2021, I have now 10x'd my sales dollars in a 90-day period. So that's good. So I took my 90-day total sales dollars over a 90-day period. That was column D. Column E, volume sold. So how many items I sold, how many cards I sold over 90 days. How many active listings I had on that day. So this is where it's not very scientific, because I took that snapshot on December 20th. So that doesn't accurately account for my average daily listings over that previous 90 days, because 3 months prior, I may have only had 4,000 listings. I may have had 4,000 listings, and then all of a sudden I listed 4,000 items. So that's the one thing where it wasn't easy. I would have to, so I just took that, and it's like, if I start here and move forward, it's going to eventually catch up, and we're going to have an accurate, over the next 90 days, it'll catch up. So sales dollars over 90 days, sales volume over 90 days, active listings on the day that I take this snapshot, and then divide that by obviously 90 days. So how many sales did I have per day? Then I take the average sales dollar amount, which you can do the math, sales dollars divided by number of days. Then I did my sell-through rate. I did my sell-through rate, which is how did I calculate? So you can calculate your sell-through rate a couple different ways. So I calculated, I'm trying to remember, actually, I could look it up here. So I did G39 divided by F39. So G39, so sales per day divided by active listings. So my sales per day divided by active listings. So on December 20th, my sell-through rate was 0.63%. 0.63%. I want to do this, make this easier, percent. Perfect. I don't know why I didn't do that. So now I've got that column in a percentage. So on December 20th, 2021, I had an average of my listing count on December 20th, 2021 was 8,612. So that was 54 sales per day. And I've got this titled wrong. Daily sell-through. So my daily sell-through rate was 0.63%, which is, and it's probably, I would say for eBay in the trading card space, that's probably about average. 0.7% daily sell-through rate. Now, that's probably gone down with the amount of Card Dealer Pro users and volume sellers. That has significantly gone up. In December of 2021, there was no Card Dealer Pro. There was Chronazio, but nobody was using it. Very few people were using Chronazio. I don't think many people use Chronazio today. But there weren't many volume sellers on eBay in December of 2021. So I think 0.63% was probably about average. Now, I also did an extrapolation on this spreadsheet where because I was chasing listing numbers. So I was extrapolating this out once I reach 50,000 listings. So that was my goal, to get to 50,000 listings, which was crazy at the time because I was listing from my phone. I had 8,612 listings listing from my phone. It's like, oh my goodness. Listing $1.75 card, probably 99-cent cards back in December of 2021, because I was buying stamped envelopes for 30 cents a stamped envelope. So I could make those numbers work. So I would extrapolate that out. And I would extrapolate that out to 50,000 listings. But so I was using this is the problem I had. I was extrapolating out my daily sell-through rate with the 50,000 number, which that was my mistake. That daily sell-through rate is not going to stay consistent as I increase. That 0.63% sell-through rate was not going to sustain through my adding more and more and more listings. And so I just want to fast forward. So I would take my daily sell-through rate multiplied by 50,000, and that would give me my sales per day, and then taking that number times my average sales price to get me my annual gross sales dollar amount. So I was using, and this is after I had already gone full-time. I'd already been full-time for, full 2 months, I guess. About 2 months. So that's enough. So again, remember my daily sell-through rate, this is really boring and I don't care. So my daily sell-through rate on December 20th, 2021 was 0.63%. And then I was extrapolating that data out to 50,000 listings, assuming my daily sell-through rate would continue to be 0.63% as I add from 8,612 listings and get to 10,000 and 20,000, 40, and eventually to 50,000. So let's just fast forward to see what my daily sell-through rate was once I got to 50,000. So let's see where my first day of 50,000 listings. By the way, that was December 20th, 2021. I hit that 50,000 listings mark for the first time on January 3rd, 2024. Interesting. So it took a while to get there. It took over 2 years to get there. By this time, remember that extrapolated number? I was extrapolating out because I assumed that my daily sell-through rate would stick at 0.63%. Do you know what my daily sell-through rate was when I hit 50,000 listings on January 3rd, 2024? It wasn't 0.63%. It was 0.18%. 0.18%. And I think I extrapolated out. So that really kills your expectations and your targets, your sales targets. So now, this is not, there's a couple other things. Number one, you have the diminishing returns. Just because you're at 0.63%, and once you get to 50,000 listings, you're not going to sustain that 0.63% because of the law of diminishing returns. However, there's two other things. Another thing, number two, we'll say law of diminishing returns was number one. Number two is going to be the economy, and not necessarily the broad economy, but the macroeconomics within our hobby/industry, within the card market. December of 2021, we were still full bore into the COVID craze. It was still pretty crazy in December of 2021. Not as crazy it was in December of 2020 or in February, March of 2021, but it was still significantly crazy, especially crazier, much, much crazier than by the time we hit to January of 2024. So that's number two, the macroeconomics of the card market. Number three, the huge increase in volume sellers. How many volume sellers were there in December of 2021? I mean, I'm considering myself a volume seller in December of 2021 with 8,612 listings. I mean, that was a volume seller in 2021. 8,612 listings is still a lot in the grand scheme of eBay today. But in the card selling part, if you only have 8,612 listings, I would not consider that volume sales. Unless you're selling 2.3% per day, then okay, I think we can get that to, we can call you a volume seller. But if you've got 8,612 listings, you're only selling 10 items a day. It's not, I would not consider that a volume seller. So the massive increase in volume sellers on eBay with the, introduction of Card Dealer Pro, the introduction to the feed scanners, the Fujitsu/Ricoh, in that course of time between December 2021 and January 2024, that diluted the market. So those three combined, those three items combined, you'll see your numbers drop from 0.63% to 0.18%. If you started in, say, a year ago, I feel like you're in a more stable place. You're still going to see those diminishing returns over time. I don't think it'll be as dramatic as comparing 2021 to 2024 because I think it's still crazy. The market's still crazy, but we don't have that really weird hobby craziness. It's crazy in a different way. I think it's crazy in a more healthy way right now. And right now you have if you started extrapolating, if you started scraping your data today, you're going to see more realistic numbers because you're up against, in fact, I think it's a healthier place because I think you're going to see more volume sellers quit than join. Where in 2021, we were at the start of a big wave a tidal wave coming in of volume sellers, where I think that ship has passed because not everything is selling like it was in 2021 and 2022. You could sell 91 Fleer Commons for 99 cents, $1.75, and people are jumping on the Fujitsu train and Car Dealer Pro and all that. And I don't think we're gonna see that moving forward. Okay, that was a lot of boring spreadsheet talk. Let's see. Max says, Brian, going to be tough talking about the Quincy Card Show. Going to be tough. I don't even want to drive 3 hours to do the Premier Guys' other shows in Chicago. Yeah, that's true. There's not a single show that I would drive 4.5 hours for. I mean, if Dallas was 4.5 hours away, I'd drive to Dallas. I'd drive to Burbank. I'd drive to Philly if it was 4.5 hours away. I'll drive 2 hours to Chicago, but that's about it. That's about it. I'm not driving 4 hours to Des Moines for the big Iowa show. I don't even drive 3 hours to Minneapolis for the Minnesota show. Maybe there's a time. Now, does that mean that's going to always be the case? Not necessarily. I may go to the next big Minnesota show I think it's in April. It just depends. It depends on my schedule and all that. I'm just not I can get what I want at my show in Janesville. I've got people I don't need to source so much. I don't need to go to a card show every weekend to source. Max says, you don't need to worry about the show, just need those guarantees. There you go. Max says, yeah, so missing out on 3 normal shows in 2 weeks and Point in 2 weeks, but that's my fault with Collecticon. Gem City says, I think that's more for me than you, LOL, to grow it big. I actually don't have a goal on table growth. I want to let the market dictate the growth. So as we move into next year, we will see more tables. Yeah, and I think that's smart because my goal for the Madison Card Show was 40 tables. When I started the show, I'm like, man, I'd love to get to 40. If we could get to 50 tables, that would be a dream come true. And that was really selling myself short. Max says, just don't do a 400 table one-day show. We have figured out that doesn't work already up here. Max says, correct, smaller towns, though, top out. Got to be in a bigger area or have a monster social following if you're going to put it in the boonies. Gem City says, LOL, 400 tables one day is insanity to me. No time to sell all the tables. And yes, being a regional hub helps attendance, but we are still 2 to 3 hours from bigger markets. It's Forgotonia. L1C says, as a guy that is sitting at 10,000 listings and considering the upgrade to a 50K store, what are the signs to make the move? Is it overall inventory, quality inventory, time available, organization? Yes. Yes. I think you throw out inventory unless it's good inventory. Because I have 4 million cards, but 3.9 million is not good inventory. So I think you kind of throw that one out the window, unless you're sitting on like Patrick Mahomes rated rookies and Josh Allen rookies and liquid stuff that you don't have time to list, or you're up against that listings wall. But if it's just like stuff that you would list for $2, $3, then I think that kind of is negated. I think quality inventory is definitely like what you would want. Time is always important, no matter what. Organization is key. So I think it's all about. So I'm trying to think through this. So sitting at 10,000, considering the upgrade to 50K, I think you need to run your number. I think number one, time, I think, is definitely coincides with your numbers. I think number one, you take a look at your numbers. What are you making on your 10,000 listings? How many items per day are you selling? What's your total? And remember that adding 40,000 listings is not going to is not a 4x multiplier on your sales either. It's going to be a 4x multiplier on your time spent, and there you go. You're going to spend 4 times the amount for 1.5 times the return, or whatever it might be, depending on what you list. It might not even be 1.5 times. If you list 91 Fleer Commons, and that's where the quality inventory comes in. So I would take a look at your numbers. And that's gonna go in with your time. How much more time do you want to spend? How much time are you spending right now shipping and listing, or shipping and pulling and shipping your 10,000, your sales on 10,000 listings? And do you have time? How much money are you making on that? And then you got to take a look at, okay, I'm spending $25 a month on the basic store. I'm going to upgrade to a $60 store, which is in reality is not much of a difference in a monthly. If you're selling enough, that's not an issue whatsoever. But you also don't want to, like right now, I'm paying for a premium store and I have 50 listings. Like, should I keep my premium store? And that's something that I decided, yes, I'm going to continue doing that. I got to figure out when because you sign like a 1-year thing, and if I cancel early, I got to look to see when that is. But you got to kind of take that into consideration as well. Unicorn says, at very least, you can write it off. Just write it off. Write it off. Matt says, yeah, unfortunately, that is going to hurt growth over 100 plus tables unless you just don't have shows anywhere around. Unicorn says, yeah, that is a rookie mistake in hindsight. Good point, Unicorn. Michael Renicky in the house. Good morning. Mark says, the hardest thing about eBay is jumping from 10 to 12 sales a day to 40 to 50. And now that we're talking about this, so when I started running my numbers, scraping the data, I was at 54 sales a day. Now, back in Feb, that was actually a big decline from my peak. And by the way, December 20th, 2021, I was full-time. I was part-time. I had a full-time job in February when I was selling 77. My peak at that point in time was 77 orders per day. And I was doing that with a full-time job. And that was on less than half of the listings that I had in December. But that's the difference between 2.3% sell-through rate and 0.63% sell-through rate. So let's just take a few snaps. So December 20th, 2021, I was at 54 sales per day. Let's just take a kind of a quarterly snapshot. Let's take a look at March 31st of 2022. I had moved up to 77 sales per day. Now that number had actually dropped significantly because of my spring training trip. If I go back to March 20th, I was at 83 sales per day. But then going to spring training for a week, hurt those numbers. Let's take a look at the end of June. June 30th, I was at 78. So I'm just like, and I'm at 14,000 listings now. Now I was doing significantly more than 54 on 8,000. So I'm still doing well. My sell-through rate was 0.55%. So it's declining, but I'm seeing my sales number grow significantly. And actually by June 30th, I was almost double the sales that I was in December of 2021. So let's take a look at September 30th. This is 2022. I'm still kind of just treading water on my daily sales volume. I'm now at 84, which is only a couple more sales a day than the previous quarter. But I'm now, this is around the time where I started using File Exchange. This is pre-Car Dealer Pro. This is when I'm using File Exchange. So I'm really starting to add some listings. Now my active listings are up to 22,000. And I'm at a 0.37%. See, those sales numbers really increased dramatically. but my sales sell-through rate now is cut in half. And my sales dollars going up, but down from the previous quarter. So I was down, but I'm still significantly up from the end of 2021. All right. So let's look at the end of 2022. My sales have increased significantly on a dollar standpoint. So it was a very good fourth quarter in 2022. I'm now at 30,000 listings, and my sell-through rate is actually for increasing 8,000 listings over that quarter. My sell-through rate's at 0.34%. So it went from 0.37% to 0.34% despite adding an additional 8,000 listings. So I consider that a win, and my total sales went up significantly. Let's look at the end of first quarter 2023 now. My sales have now dropped. It was a bad first quarter. My listings are now up to almost 35,000. So I've added another 5,000 listings. I'm up to 102 sales per day, and my sell-through rate has dipped a little bit to 0.29%. So that's still, I'm still kind of seeing the ebbs and flows where my sales dollars are down a little bit from the previous quarter, but my sales volume is up. I'm putting more time in for a little less money than at least the previous quarter. So let's take a look at the end of second quarter. I've rebounded back to my fourth quarter numbers. So after a bad first quarter, I have a good second quarter. My active listings are now up to 40,000. I'm now up to 110 sales per day, and my sell-through rate is hanging steady, 0.27%. Let's fast forward, see how my third quarter went, September 30th, and I'm at 44,000 listings. My volume, my numbers have dipped a little bit. For sales dollars, my sales volume is around 100 items per day, and my sell-through rate has declined a little bit. I'm now at 0.23%. And let's see how my first quarter went in 2023. My sales numbers dipped a little bit more. I'm at just shy of 50,000 listings, 49,300 and some. My sales volume has now declined. I'm at 90 sales per day, and my sell-through rate has really declined. I'm at 0.18%. So I'm probably adding junk. Fourth quarter, I probably added a bunch of junk. I don't know what else was going on that first quarter. Now we head into 2024. Let's see how my first quarter went. My first quarter, I'm at 52,000 listings. I'm a little bit, my sales, I had a shitty first quarter last year. So my sales are down. And I'm basically like treading water on my sales. Like I'm seeing very little growth quarter by quarter. My volume again is at my active listings at 52,000. I'm at about 93 sales per day. My sell-through rate's now dipped to 0.18%. Let's go in now. I had a decent second quarter. So my sales are up significantly. By the end of June last year, my sales are up significantly. I am now over 53,000 orders. I'm up to 100. My volume has gone up. I'm at 118 sales per day, and my sell-through rate has also increased for the first time in a while. Might be the first time since 2021. My sell-through rate has actually increased, and I'm at 0.22%. Let's take a look at the end of the third quarter of last year. I had some good buys last year. I bought a couple nice collections, had that estate sale find. Third quarter was about the same as second quarter. I went up a little bit. I'm now over 58,000 listings. I'm at 108 sales per day, and my sell-through rate has actually declined again. We're back to that 0.18% that I saw in first quarter. And then let's take a look at the end of the year. So my fourth quarter had a decent fourth quarter. My sales went up again. I am now at just shy of 60,000 listings by the end of 2024. My volume has spiked. I am now selling 133 items per day. And my sell-through rate has also increased. I'm back up to 0.22%, which is what I saw at the end of second quarter. And then let's just do, for shits and giggles, let's take a look at how my 2025 started. I had a terrible. I've actually had eBay Live days where I've made more money in a show than I've done in the entire month of January 2025. My sales have declined because I had such a shitty January. I'm over 60,000 listings at this point. I'm at 117 daily orders. My sell-through rate's at 0.19%. End of March, my sales have dipped again, and that's partly because of spring training. I'm now at 55,000 listings, haven't been adding much. I'm over 100 orders per day. My sell-through rate's back down to 0.18%. And then I stopped tracking. That's, I think, end of March, because then I go into eBay Live at the end of April, and then by July, there's no need to be tracking this stuff because I have eBay Live analytics. Max says, can always up the dollar amount per card you're buying. Doesn't have to be more sales to make X money. That is absolutely correct. And that's what I was looking at as I look back at this spreadsheet, and I wanted to see 40% growth year over year. I was going to have to make some drastic changes for 2025. Going into the year, it's like the drastic change. I'm going to have to buy smarter, and I'm not going to buy just bulk to sell for $1.75 because that's not. I'm just treading water. I'm going up, make a little bit more here, make a little less here, and I'm not seeing much growth. I did see over the course of 2024, I saw 10% growth over 2023, but that's not the type of. I wanted bigger growth. I needed that 40% jump. It's been 3-4 years. I needed to see significant growth, and fortunately, live selling has been that key to unlock that. Tracy, good morning. Just sliding in here for the last half of the show. ET Card Collector is here. I've made one sale in the last 90 days. LOL. I don't sell much, although I have around 10 cards listed at any given time. Rich says you should track eBay Live in terms of items sold and how much to see how the dollars do. I do. I don't go into the detail that I did with my buy it now items. But it's kind of one of those things where I'll go back and I'll look through, let's see. It takes their analytics on the back end. Now, again, the spreadsheet I was just looking at, I created myself. I was doing all of that. I don't think I have Sunday analytics yet. It takes usually 3 to 4 days. No, I might have Saturdays though. I did a cheap lot Saturday where I ended up doing 50 auctions Saturday afternoon. Oh, I do have Saturday. So I can't really see much on my back end. I mean, I can see total sales dollars and total items. So, my average sales price is obviously it's up significantly over the buy it now. I can see how many new followers, like Saturday, just for a random shitty hour and a half show, I got 7 new followers out of it, which is pretty good. I'd like to see what I did Sunday for new sellers, but I don't have those numbers yet. But let's see. Yeah, anyway. All right. That 70s card show in the house. Stop dry humping on the sports cards and start finger blasting the TCG. Nice shirt. Who died? It's Rosh Hashanah. Shana Tova. We have a Rosh Hashanah lunch today, so I've got to look like an adult. That dude from Duryea says, would you say the increase in vintage cards helped overall? In terms of my sales last year, 100%. And I wouldn't say just because it was vintage. I would say because it was vintage, but it was good vintage at a freaking fraction of comps. So I think it was the perfect storm. I mean, it would have been very similar if I found a bunch of kabooms in downtowns for $10 in a $10 box. So I don't think it wasn't just because I added vintage to my inventory. I think it was because I added so much vintage, so much of an item that had liquidity that I had a fraction of the cost into it. So Rick says, oh, and hi there. Good morning to you and yours. Shana Tova. Shana Tova. And like sub, and how was dinner last night? It was very good. I enjoyed my gefilte fish. I was talking at the beginning of the show that Jewish holidays are, every Jewish holiday is Thanksgiving, just with no turkey. You just eat. You just gorge yourself with food. So yeah, it was good. We had our typical meal. Apples and honey, of course. Gefilte fish, liver, which I actually ate the liver. Challah, kugel, simmus, and then brisket. Brisket, that's what it was. Brisket. I was saying like beef brisket. It was good. I'm stuffed. I'm surprised I can fit into the shirt this morning. Rosh is great. Tom Sawyer, one of my faves. Geddy Lee, huge baseball fan and collector. Is he a Blue Jays fan? Because they're Canadians. I'm assuming he's a Toronto Blue Jays fan. So Rush rules. Shana Tova, back to you, Uncle Rich, and all who celebrate. John says, all vintage is good vintage. Stop redunding. Cody says, good morning. I purchased a card and it went to eBay Authenticator. Has been sitting for a week. What's the normal time frame for that? Right now, that's normal. I have read in various places that it's taking significantly longer to go through the authentication process. So I would say that right now, unfortunately, is normal. Usually it's a couple days. Usually it's like it sits there for a few days and then you're good. But I think it has been longer. I haven't sent anything off in a while. Is Geddy Lee related to Jeremy Lee? I'm assuming they have the same last name and they're both from Canada. They've got to be related. Except for Yom Kippur. The fast. I do not partake in the fast, but there's no food. So I just eat my normal food. But break the fast is good. Although you've got a bunch of hungries. You gotta fight for the food. Shana Tova is great as well. Feel like a woman. All of the others are, we fought, we won, let's eat. Didn't Yom Kippur play for the Indians in the 70s? And his older brother, Tom and Yom. Yes, he is. Wasn't Rod Carew half Jewish? He converted. He married a Jewish woman, but never converted back in the day. Or did Adam Sandler lie to me? Rod Carew is not part of the tribe, doesn't have our blood flowing through his veins. As the Breakers say, we take 3 weeks, Mark says. Max says, that's why all the Jews in college were bitchy on Yom. Mark says, I have 4 cards waiting, including 2 Jordan rookies. Oh, interesting. So I assume it's been taking longer for you as well. I've read in various tweets and forums that the authentication process is taking longer. So that's what I had for today. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. My next eBay live will be tonight. I'm looking at 7:30 Central Time tonight. So tonight I'm going to run some packs, some unopened packs tonight. I'm going to run some more football singles. I've got some more baseball singles. I do have some slabs. We'll see. I'll run some slabs. Thursday night is wrestling night. It's all wrestling. I need to get some of this stuff scheduled, which is another reason why I shouldn't be scheduling a live this afternoon, because I've got too much other shit going on. I've got Madison Card Show stuff to get ready for this weekend. 2 shows. Saturday, Madison Card Show. Madison Marriott South used to be the Sheraton Hotel. Same hotel, different name. This Saturday, 9 to 3 on John Nolan Drive. Free admission, free parking this Saturday. Sunday, Madison Pokemon Show, TCG only. Both shows, 140 tables. Both shows sold out. This Saturday and Sunday, Madison, Wisconsin. Come out and see us. This is false. This is false. You actually can bet on wrestling. John says, Bo is Jewish for the food. Right. I'm not even, I never converted. I am non, what is it? I grew up Methodist. Well, I grew up Methodist, not going to church. I was baptized. But yeah, we never went to church. Isn't today supposed to be the rapture? Might be pleasant around here if it is. America might be a little more pleasant if we have the rapture today. Non-denominational, thank you. That's what I am. Gem City says, John and Uncle Rich, light the menorah, new song I'm working on. Peter's in the house. What's going on? Just in time for us to go. Goys. I'll take your word for it. I'm just an imposter. I'm here for the food. I am here for the food. All right. So that's all I had for today. Thank you for joining. Have a good day. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Tonight, 7:30 Central, eBay Live. See you there.